Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I've decided what I'm going to do about my dominions, and that is, I'm going to reduce their autonomy. Particularly, I'm going to reduce, I think, I'm going to start with New Grenada, because their autonomy desire, their liberty desire is the highest. So, I'm going to do that right now. That's going to add 10 for Preu-Bolivia, but they're still going down at a good clip. So, shouldn't be long before I can get them again. And then I'm going to maybe do these ones once my infamy is a little lower and just do those via infamy. And maybe by the time I'm done with that, Venezuela will be going down further. And the reason I'm doing this way is because Venezuela's liberty desire decrease is getting a debuff from... Oh, sorry, excuse me, yeah. The rate at which it's going down is being reduced by how low it is. Place seems to be most effective, just a rubber rush event again. So I'm doing that in order to, because I think this is just going to be kind of a slog either way. It's not going down that much. Oyo sides with Senegal in some kind of diplomatic play. I'm not going to get involved with Oman. And this is... Oyo is siding with Senegal over here. What about... What if you became my subject? No? No, no becoming my subject in the cards for you? Okay. Just going to not be involved in these Central European diplomatic plays. This is Holstein. Again, Central Europe, I don't really have any ability to get involved in that. Now they're both on protected speech, but we do have a movement for workers' protections. That is probably a good movement in terms of increasing my workforce. So let's go ahead. That's going to cost us some more bureaucracy, unfortunately. But I think it's worth it. Only the industrialists oppose it, and they'll be fine. So let's get started. So in order to make this happen, I'm going to queue up some more government admin buildings. Where do I want to put these? I think maybe I'll throw a batch in Louisiana. Yeah, I think that's right. 10 in Louisiana, and we'll do 5 more each in Montana and Colorado. That should be good. Maybe 5 in Nevada? Yeah, I think 5 in Nevada should be fun. We've got a lot of labor available in Nevada. Floating harbor, that's nice. That's a good tech. So where are we with tech? We're working on sea lane strategies. We did recently get self-propelled torpedoes. You're right, we're working on sea lane strategies so that we can get scout cruisers. And then we don't have to upgrade our escort ships at all after that, because they'll be fully built up. And we're basically still on... Yeah, we're still on monitors. So what else do we need for our economy? Now that it's been a little bit since we've done economic development, obviously we need more paper mills. I guess I shouldn't be shocked by that. We've been building up a lot of... Yeah, and we need more military shipyards, but not that many. I think I can let the private sector manage the shipyards for the moment. Well, gosh, maybe we just need the shipyards to hire. What's so expensive? Engines, coal, steel. Well, that'll do it. Maybe we can reduce steel prices. Engines prices are chronically difficult to keep down. Plus, we're exporting a bunch of them, so that's kind of part of what's happening. Motor industry is not fully employed whatsoever. Particularly the ones in Montana. Goodness, I keep hoping that, I don't think it's time to start automating yet, but the private sector is building up a ton of levels of steel mills, so I think I'll let that kind of happen. So that means we're not really affecting the ironclad situation. We can definitely continue to increase... Oyo sides of Senegal about something else, perhaps. Unless this is the same thing. Against an Ashanti uprising. Again, either of you? No. Well, if the Ashanti Uprising succeeds... So the KR Uprising is probably going to succeed, because Senegal no longer has access to the sea. Although Oyo might be able to naval invade them. In either case, I'm doing fine. I now have a border with Tunis, so if I wish to establish Tunis as a protectorate, I can. And that should be fine. I'm also way over on cash, so I think... But I don't know to what extent it's useful for me to establish a professional army. Coffee talk. Workers' protections was on everybody's lips in every coffee house. Afterwards, George Fuller was ready to cross the yeoman farmers to help pass the law. Wise counsel advises against conflating the voice of the people with the voice of God. Wiser counsel calls the voice of the people mad. The wisest counsel understands that genius and madness are two sides of the same coin. It's a matter of knowing when to listen. We welcome this change of heart. Some chance that George Fuller gets stronger, some chance that the petite bourgeoisie gets stronger. Some chance, tiny chance he goes away, but 5% enactment success. Or shield him from the yeoman farmers' blowback, stronger, petit bourgeois, weaker, George Fuller. I can get 5% off either of these. I'm going to go with this one for a chance the petit bourgeoisie don't get stronger. So they're currently at plus 13. If they go up, it's a swing and a miss. And they did not. Alright, so that should be fine. So that means George Fuller is doing better. Liberal revolt in the Mosquito Kingdom. Very good. I was going to take over El Salvador forever ago, but I just haven't done. And I think that's just kind of the nature of things. So Preu-Bolivia is continuing to decrease in liberty desire, so they should be below 28 pretty soon. Wow. Venezuela is really, really low population. Wow. Golly. Yeah, I think that's part of the issue, is that there are just a lot of people leaving Venezuela to go to other places, and their industry can't really fully employ because of it. It's a real issue, and I don't know how to solve it. It's a shame. How much oil is my customs union using? Not much, and it's exporting most of it. Let's see if we can set up more. Okay, let's see if we can set up more export routes through the other interface. Not really. No one's really using much oil yet. That's a shame. I need to start getting some production methods that use oil. I guess I'm rapidly hurtling in that direction. I am still at my cap of innovation. And do I have unspent? Yes, a little bit. I have a little bit of unspent innovation. So... yeah, I think I'm going to build up my paper supplies. Again, I'm having a really, like... I'm consuming so little luxury furniture and luxury clothes that it's kind of bananas. But let's go ahead and build up our output capacity for paper, because that's something I can definitely rely on to have a sufficient amount of industry. I think we're going to build up... What about Costa Rica? Population here is super duper low. I can't rely on this in the short term, but I will build some paper mills here for the just to get some immigration going up there. Got quite a bit of labor available in Volta, so I think we'll throw some paper mills in there. Outer Hausaland is a place that I think having a little bit of extra industry there will eventually lead to growth, population growth. What about Timbuktu? Let's throw some sulfur mines in here, just to have a local source of sulfur available in this area. I had an event. Media endorsements. The Voice of Lexington, a popular newspaper read by the trade unions class across the United States of America, has published an article by George Fuller advocating for the enactment of workers' protections. Putting out a newspaper without promotion is like winking at a girl in the dark. Well-intentioned, but ineffective. How are we to counteract the voice of the people? Extra enactment chance, reduced enactment time, or offer our thanks to the publisher? Less of both, but stronger trade unions. I'm going to go with the second one. Again, I'm kind of gambling on strengthening the trade unions here. We'll see sort of how that'll impact their politics long term. By the way, I also started incorporating Northern Cape, which is a state where we're sharing with a bunch of different people. But it's one I wanted to get incorporating. So, let me see. France does have some territory here. We're going to finish out colonizing Eastern New Guinea reasonably soon, however. Numerous expansion opportunities lie abroad. Northern Italian mass migration, very nice. Again, I could be establishing colonial administrations, but I don't necessarily need to at this time. Ooh, excellent. Got another territory open for colonization. That's wonderful. Again, my goal is to have all of this territory be mine and none of it be British. Allies of convenience. Just as workers' protections law looked ready to topple, the armed forces found itself rallying with the assistance of Pedro Serrano. It has now found the support it needs to pass without compromise. When support was called, the unlikeliest hand in the audience rose. Another hand lifted and a third behind them. The faction with the least to gain from its passage, yet nothing to lose either way, assents. Cheers of exuberance followed howls of defeat as the law charged on ahead. Welcome this support, they will. 1% of Dixie Pops become loyalists. 5% more interest group attraction to Pedro Serrano, who lends the armed forces. USA gains full house support, 5% enactment chance. Or tally this favor, they certainly will. We get the same enactment chance, but we get stronger interest group approval from the yeoman farmers and from the armed forces, but makes them stronger as well. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't need loyalists. My loyalist count is absolutely bananas, and I can absolutely live with... Oh, excellent. Britain's importing our engines. That's wonderful. Hopefully that will lead to increased employment in the... Is this still called the automotive industry if we're not producing cars yet? I feel like maybe once we've got conveyors researched, it'll be time to bang out the last of the tier 3s, and then... Is going for conveyors really smart? I don't think it is. I do want to have a use for oil, though. Instead of going for conveyors, I'm going to go for vacuum canning. So I can... Well, I do want power. And shift work is really good. But actually, I think vacuum canning is going to go first. That's going to create a market for oil in our... customs union that's going to be really useful. I think after that, going to electrical generation is smart. And then we'll circle back to shift work and reinforced concrete. I can live with aniline being where it is until it spreads to us. But with other stuff, I think I want to have those going on first. Alright, let's continue onward here. New Grenada is rebellious, but that's just because I reduced their autonomy. Preu-Bolivia is actually very, very close to me being able to reduce their autonomy as well, so I'm going to do that. French Empire is embargoing us. Well, France... I don't know why you would do that, except for the fact that I'm also embargoing you. But that's fine. I can absolutely scrap those trade routes, no problem. Shazam. I don't need them. Getting a good, ooh, excellent, we're on study. So workers' protections will also increase wages, which is extremely useful in terms of keeping my standard of living high. And having a high standard of living is very important at this point in the game. Minnesota is actually a good place to build up some government admin. And then after that, I think I'll take a pass through my regions, my states, and figure out who needs infrastructure. So, a Hagar diplomatic play against us. Well, that's fine. Colonization of East Sahara is complete. Cool. It went away on account of they stopped being a country. East Sahara also has a population that's largely not going to be accepted, so I'm not going to build up. I'm not going to incorporate those areas. We will, however, invest in the economy a little bit, just to make sure that there's productive jobs available. There's mutual funds. Okay, so that's good. That gives us an increase in minting. And it should give us the option of... Are these still more productive without using tools? I can't imagine they would be. Where do we have somewhere where the setup is different? Costa Rica and Antioquia. Oh. You need to be on soil enriching farming, Costa Rica. Yeah, we'll do harvesting tools for these ones as well. Same for the millet farms, frankly. Labor's a little low in those areas. Oh, interesting. Fig orchards are more profitable? They are. That's really quite curious. But I'll do it. I mean, it's great to keep those businesses profitable. Barbed wire fencing. This has got to be more productive. Iron is pretty available in our... No, not even a little bit? Hang on. What's our iron situation? Iron's reasonably cheap. Maybe we'll not worry about it for now. We're starting to get to work on building up our government admin. I think what this is showing me is that I can tolerate maybe a larger construction sector. How much is my investment pool using, though? It's using about half the its allocation. So if I increase the size of my construction sector, I can keep my economy growing faster. Gone to the dogs. A horrendous first draft of the Workers' Protection says every faction clamoring to ram in their desired changes. Pedro Serrano has ripped up an immense public discontent in favor of a rewrite. Double pay on Saturday? Do you think that we bathe in money? And 15 minutes for a smoke break? Preposterous. A shared sickness leave would help blunt tuberculosis outbreaks. Pages brought fresh inkwells for every half-interested note-taker in the chamber. It was already a long day and promised to be a longer evening. Many more inkwells would be needed before this unruly child was put to bed. Stay the course and clear up any errors. Angry intelligentsia, more enactment chance. Hear out Serrano's supporters, 50% chance of it going up, 50% chance of it going down, but 20 popularity for Serrano's. Or take some of the intelligentsia suggestions. Intelligentsia stronger, weaker enactment chance. I'm going to go with the first one. I don't think I really need to be concerning myself with the intelligentsia at the moment. My loyalist count at this point is so absurdly high that I don't need to really concern myself with almost any of this stuff. I wonder if I should... Rival supports trade unions. Well, that's just fine with me. Insubordinate jingoist. An officer in our African colonies has intentionally provoked confrontation with Herrero, despite instructions to keep the peace. We can either save face by going along with the officer's plot or recall him, admit that we lost control of the situation, and upset the jingoists. Never mind the missives of weak-minded fools in the capital. Everything I've accomplished during these campaigns was done in spite of the ministry, not because of it. We have no choice but to attack, increase his tensions, or recall the officer. I am extremely tempted to recall the officer. It's a minor prestige penalty, and neither the military nor the Southern planters are much of a factor in our politics. So, yeah, I think we can tolerate that pretty well. Again, I don't want to just sort of go buck wild on damaging these populations to the extent that I can avoid it, because these are going to be Americans. I'm very close to being able to colonize Baratza, and I'm just trying to colonize as much as I can get. In fact, in 7 days, I think I'll be there. I think I'll have a border here. Not quite. Another 50 days. Mission to Africa. A group of Christian missionaries want to bring the salvation of the Gospels to our colony in Congo. I do not believe everyone entitled to salvation because we must be free to reject it, but I do believe everyone is entitled to the choice. We must not, cannot sit idly by in the United States of America while there are yet enlightened heathens in this world. If the colonial project truly is a moral one, as you claim, then all moral instruction must begin with this choice. Spreading the true faith is a vital part of the colonial project, extra conversion, extra migration attraction in uncooperated states and stronger evangelicals. Or we're there for the glory of the United States of America, not the glory of God. I'm going to do the second one. This is a secular country where we do not make laws which respect establishments of religion, as the Constitution says. Overly enthusiastic partisans. You know what that means. We're in an election again. Supporters of the Republican Party have gone beyond simply campaigning for their own party, harassing and sometimes physically attacking opposing partisans. I'm a simple party man, that's all. I know who I like and I know who I don't like, and I know I want my people to win and their people to lose. Crack down on their activities or let them continue unmolested. What's the momentum look like? The Republican Party does have a lot of momentum again. You know what? I'm going to crack down. I don't think it's going to have a meaningful effect on the election, actually. Yeah, here we go. So the the Socialist Party of America is still slowly gaining in popularity, but the fact is the Republican momentum is so high that I don't think it's going to actually affect anything. There's a revolution kicking off in South Germany, but I don't need to worry about that. And then there's some more nonsense happening in Ethiopia. So Preu-Bolivia is finally at a point where we can decrease their autonomy without taking infamy about it. So we'll go ahead and do that. And a Luba uprising is occurring. So where is this? This is not North Africa, but in southern Central Africa. We have two different fronts here. So I'm going to need two different armies. I'm going to go ahead and mobilize the Army of Florida. And we'll send them to the northern front. Workers' protections is in voting. Very good. This is going to helpfully increase standard of living in a bunch of different areas. Army of the Isthmus, I seem to have built up a bunch of regular troops. I think I might not have meant to do that, but, you know, it's fine. I think the American Expeditionary Force also needs more regular troops, so we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, that's just the game pretending things are not going right. So that puts us to... and then we'll need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it puts us 20 and 15. Let's go up to 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll start with 5 levels of cavalry. And that'll be fine. I'm just going to quickly throw those in at the top. Because, again, they take up a lot of space in the construction queue, and I don't want them to take up a lot of space in the construction queue. I don't anticipate this war being that big of an issue. So we're ready to annex Preu-Bolivia. We're ready to annex New Grenada. And some of these places we can reduce their autonomy via infamy without too much of a problem. Oh. My goodness, there's a religious revolt in Nicaragua. I was paying too much attention to other things I didn't even realize. Religious revolt in Kutai, for sure. Nobody wants me involved? Fine. Authorial intent. A minor scandal has buzzed around the Republican Party as a piece of reformist fiction written by George Fuller in his youth began to circulate once more. Whilst enthusiastically written, that is the work's only merit. A plague of superstition and dogma was the end of the United States of America? If that's so, then why are the trains still running? How could they possibly have acquired the coal to fuel them? Your propensity to butcher your characters for cheap tragedy is nothing short of shameful. And to make matters worse, why would Victor ever not pursue Estrid's affections when they've known each other for so long? Do you have no eye for redeeming romance? A tragic tale, but there's no reason to harass him, reduce momentum for the Republicans, or this is George Fuller's problem, not the party's. I'm going to hit the second one. Don't want to reduce momentum too much. So what does that do for the elections? Yep, still basically looking to sweep the vote. We'll see if President Europe's almost assuredly going to win. Latvian mass immigration, wonderful. We're up to a legitimate government, which has reduced our loyalist per month count, but you know, not super duper concerned about that, to be completely honest. And this should give us a pile of loyalists, 2.26 million loyalists. Again, keeping our loyalist count high is good. Oh, actually, I think we've got reach to commence colonizing. There we go. Perfect. And there's workers' protection. So that's going to be excellent, and that's going to apply in all of our incorporated areas, which includes basically every place that we have gotten fully established. We don't currently have the bureaucratic capacity to support that, but we are finally starting to build all those government admins that I queued up a while ago, so hopefully that'll help. And then we'll be able to increase the institution level later. So many things I want to spend infamy on. So, let me see. If I demand a reduction in autonomy, I can't do that now. Why? Possibly because I'm already in a diplomatic play? Because I'm already in a diplomatic play. Alright, beautiful. The grand plan pays off. James Longstreet, the methodical leader of the armed forces, has been studiously working hard behind the scenes for some time now, and at last all his work is paid off for the armed forces in the United States. The man is so pleased with his acts that he looks like he's about to burst into flames of contained emotion. How charming! Professionally speaking, though, not the most clever move. Yes, just as planned. The armed forces shall reap the rewards, 30% extra momentum, or the United States shall reap the rewards. Is it always just reduced loan interest rate and extra gold reserve limit? Because that's nice, but like, you'd think if it's the armed forces it'd be something different. I'm going to go with the second one. And then we have visitors from the colonies. Intellectuals from Dar al-Kuti are visiting our capital, arguing the case that their home country is far more civilized than we make it out to be, and that our colonial designs of them are unjustified. It is quite baffling, I must say, to hear you speak of being robbed when the United States of America brings you the greatest gift of all, the gift of civilization. The Kutian gentleman leaned in and responded bitterly. I've seen the ships that arrive at our shores, and I've seen the ships that leave. The civilization you are bringing must be very light, but the price we pay for it seems quite heavy indeed. It's all affectations and lies. Send them back. Salty parties and increased tension. Perhaps there is some value in hearing their perspective. Reduced colonial growth generation. I can't take any reduced colonial growth generation because I'm in a race against the British. I'm going to give you democracy, and hopefully that's going to make up for what we've got going on here. You're currently not a democracy. You're an autocratic chiefdom. So, you know, maybe, please like me. Please like me. And there's the religious revolt in Nicaragua. All right. There's the situation in Luba handled. There's the situation in Nicaragua handled. So, let's go ahead and... let me see. Reducing autonomy, 2.8 infamy, 46% chance they accept. With Honduras, it's a 40% chance. With Guatemala, it is 100% chance they'll accept. 5 infamy, let's do it. So they've been reduced. 2.8 I think we can tolerate, or we'll be able to in just a little bit. So we'll kick off one with Nicaragua pretty soon. Central American mass immigration, wonderful. Where are we with... oh, that's what I want. Fruitful endorsements. In a gesture of solidarity with the Republican Party, Susan Anthony has encouraged her supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Republican Party has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving the United States of America forwards under their name. She has our thanks, certainly, 30% momentum, or the investment would better be more specific, stronger petite bourgeoisie. Alright, I'm going to go with the first one, since the stronger petite bourgeoisie is not something that's within my bag. So do I skip forward to graduated taxation immediately? If I go to graduated, that's actually a reduction. What I want is proportional. So who gets salty about this? The petite bourgeoisie really do not like this. So I think we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait until they want proportional, because I do want proportional very, very badly. There's improved fertilizer, nice. And there's an election. So, how is the government? The government is as legitimate as it can possibly be. I'm not going to let you in, the industrialists. Get out of here. So, for now, I think we are going to go ahead and reduce Nicaragua's autonomy. We're at 22.1. I'm going to wait a little longer, actually, just to make sure that these numbers are not made up, and I'm not about to shoot myself in the proverbial foot here. Let me see. We have a Wati diplomatic play against Australia. I'm going to ignore that. We have something going on in the Crucial States. Going to ignore that. Alright, this should be fine. And this is Schaumburg-Lippe, which Prussia is trying to make into a protectorate. I'm going to ignore that as well. Alright, 2.8 infamy. Please say yes. They refused, but that's okay. I'll send the Army of Florida to deal with the situation. And the Army of the Isthmus as well. Actually, I'll put the Army of Florida on the other side because they're already in the water. They're already in the sea, and that should be fine. That said, that, I think, is all the time we've got for this episode. We've done a little bit of work reducing the autonomy of our puppets, getting ready to make annexation diplomatic plays happen. So I'm pretty excited about that. Obviously, Venezuela remains with high liberty desire, with middling liberty desire at least. That's fine with me. It's a process. It's not actually that many states, and it's not going to be that big of a deal. So that is the progress that we've made for now. So for the rest of today, I've had fun. I hope you've had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.